Hey, what is going on, guys? It is George W. Bushgank, the fastest president alive. What can I say? We're kind of giving you some tips and tricks that the community kind of wants you to know at this point. Competitive community is pretty accepting to people of all levels of pace, all levels of experience, etc., etc. It's important that you do know a few things coming into it that will definitely help you just be a little bit faster, just to, kind of learn a little quicker, etc., etc. So, with that, tunes. Tunes are the best way to just gain free pace. Uh, I know people that come into the community like, oh yeah, I'll just do it, I'll just do this without tuning. No, 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 no. So there is like a 2 to 3 second pace gain that you can get for free just by plugging in some numbers. If you don't do that, I don't know what to tell you. It's important. It's incredibly important. If you are not tuning, you are just shooting yourself in the foot. I can't imagine an easier way to just be faster for absolutely free. And, on that, where we get those tunes are communities, leagues, things of that sort. So, point two, I hope you definitely join any communities and leagues that you can get your hands on. Communities specifically like Forzaverse and Racing Haven, filled with fast guys that know what they're talking about, especially Forzaverse, man. Forzaverse has been fantastic. That's kind of like the general hub where everybody goes to when they need something from the Forza community. Tunes are, of course, I did a video on getting tunes from Forzaverse, so I'll have that linked in the description. And it's incredible just as a place. TPR guys have been incredible. Craviator has been great. It's the perfect place to start your Forza journey. And I can wholeheartedly recommend it. If it didn't exist, God, I would not be nearly where I am today when it comes to the experience with this game. And I would have not had it is nearly of an enjoyable experience as I have had on my way up. Anyways, leagues are another part of the community, another part of this point. If you find leagues that you like, if you find groups of people that you like that are doing a league, don't hesitate to join it. Definitely just try and do what you can to get along with them, hang out with them. Leagues are generally just groups of people that enjoy racing together. The more competitive ones, of course, are much more, much larger and much harder to keep up in. But, when you're getting faster, those kinds of leagues can be really good. But as of right now, the community's kind of at in a little bit of a lull state because of how bad the game launched. So, I do recommend joining leagues and just kind of getting some competitive experience. It's just a good part of the game. For gaining pace specifically, though, for skill itself, Rivals, oh my god, Rivals is incredible. Jumping into Rivals has just been an absolute blessing for me. And I know it's a pretty common thing with racing games, especially competitive ones, but a lot of people overlook this completely. Rivals, whenever I do Rivals, generally it's to set up for an event, get some baseline times down, or if I'm bored, I go into featured multiplayer. I'm just chilling, looking through the different races. I see 4 rain races, and I'm just like, I don't want to deal with all that right now. I'm just gonna go do some Rivals. I'm gonna see if I can beat some times. I'm gonna see if I can beat some friends of mine. And on that note, whenever you go into a race and you meet a fast guy, like in a spec race or anything of that sort, whenever you meet some fast guys, don't be afraid to reach out to them on Xbox and just, see if they'll add you, because that'll give you access to times much more easily on Rivals. I definitely recommend that you add faster people, talk to them, just be like, hey man, you're pretty quick. Mind if I add you? I'm gonna say like 90% of the time, they're not gonna say no. Fast guys love being told they're fast, for the most part. There are always exceptions to the rule, but it's important to make connections in general. I guess that comes with the community part. And this kind of goes as well if you see a fast guy in your practice sessions. I also recommend doing practice sessions. Do as many as you can. Follow them. Just go and try and find them on the track. Follow them around. See what they're doing. They know something you don't. So it's important that you learn from that. That's actually a pretty common tactic used in racing everywhere. Super important that you get that drilled into your head that when there's a fast guy on the track, they know something you don't, whether it be car choice, whether it be line, whether it be acceleration, braking points. Definitely learn from them. And my last point, this is a big one. This is a real big one. And this is something that the competitive community is very, very staunch on. It is very, very... It is important that you use assists that you are comfortable with. And, of course, there are going to be assists such as automatic. You generally want to stay away from it. But if you're more comfortable with it and you're faster with it, use it. Play the way you want to play. Manual, clutch, and manual, of course, are always going to be faster. We're always going to push for you to be faster. And we're always going to be pushing for you to use these if you can learn them. But automatic... It's slower, but if you're faster with it, then why would you use something else? And this is something that a lot of elitists, Forza elitists, who aren't a part of the competitive community, will try and get people on. There are some guys on Reddit. We make fun of them a lot as part of the competitive community, but they don't like braking line. They think braking line is stupid, and you're just going to be slower with it than without it. Braking line is an interesting case because it's not something that affects your driving directly. It affects what you see on track. I would use it. I use it, of course. Forza is full of destructible braking markers. And braking line is something on track that you can look at very easily. That you can kind of get a feel for very easily. That I highly recommend you take advantage of. You can't, people can't destroy it, like brake boards and whatnot. Those aren't static. You can move those in game, and it's a pain, man. Braking line, highly recommend. ABS is also another good one. This is a 0% pace loss, by the way. If it is a pace loss, it's like 1 to 2%. It's like nothing, man. So if you're constantly locking up and you're not able to kind of make use of ABS off. ABS on is totally fine. It's if it is any slower, it is such a little amount that it just doesn't matter. Some of the fastest guys in the game use ABS on. I use ABS on, and I'm relatively quick. So definitely recommend it. And something to... God, it's just such a big part of this. This is a simcade. This is not a simulator. This game is meant to be able to pick up and play, and assists are a huge part of that, especially for people who are coming in from no experience whatsoever. Use the assists, utilize them to however you want, okay? Of course, we're going to push for you to use the faster assists, but if you don't want to, you don't have to. Don't let anyone on Reddit tell you what you can and cannot do in this video game. Just play the way you want. Anyways, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. This has been George W. Bushgank. You guys all rock. Hopefully I see you on the track. Take care.